Hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of. I don't even know what to call this yet. I'll call it something eventually, or y'all will come up with a name at some point. But this is another episode of me telling interesting stories. So, this one comes from r/United States Marine Corps, or USMC. And this post comes from TX Cryptids. Links will be in the description box down below. I hope you enjoy the story. It was during my third deployment to Iraq. The platoon had taken up residence in two houses, in a village several miles south of Haditha. One day I heard our translator having a heated discussion with two local men. I grabbed my gear and my rifle and walked out to the road to investigate. I asked the translator what was going on. He tells me that these two men are crazy and assures me that they are not dangerous. I ask what they want, and he mumbles about them being superstitious or something along those lines. He assures me that everything is okay, and my attention is not needed. It took a bit of prying, but the translator finally says that they're having a WOLFMAN problem. But they are afraid to shoot at it. The local troops will be alarmed and attack their house. They tell us that this WOLFMAN has been coming around late at night and has already killed a few sheep. And they are worried that it's going to start attacking their family. So I assume somewhere in translation, the word dog has turned into wolf, and somehow being conveyed to me by the translator as WOLFMAN. So I try to clarify. Do they mean dog? The translator is a bit hesitant, almost like he's embarrassed that his countrymen are wasting everyone's time by believing in such nonsense. But they are adamant that their house is being besieged by a WOLFMAN. Again, I ask if it's just a big dog, and no. It's a WOLFMAN. So I ask if there are wolves in Iraq. And they are all in agreement that yes, there are wolves in Iraq. But there are no wolves in this part of the country. And it's not a wolf. Or a large dog that has been killing their sheep. It's a WOLFMAN? The translator is trying to usher them away, but at this point, I am very intrigued, and still a bit confused over the whole dog-wolf-WOLFMAN thing. You know, okay, you know what, a personal interjection into this one. You've got a pretty good idea what they're talking about if they're saying that something that is kind of like a wolf and a dog mixed with a human would be like. That's kind of hard to mistake, I guess you could say, especially in a place where there are no bears there. There's no bears there at all. So you couldn't mistake, something like this for anything else. Then again, in my own experience, this has been, there's been a plethora of strange things that I thought was one thing and then found out later was something else. So, I mean, it could just be possibly that, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's possible that they are specifically talking about this one single thing and that he's blanking because he's, I don't know, thinking linear. I don't know. If you're like Okay, if you're like a Marine in Iraq or Afghanistan or something, at any point in time, you've heard of a wolfman or a werewolf or something like that. You know what they're talking about. So, I mean, this part kind of makes me not buy it too much, but you know what? Honestly, I've got more fantastical stories from my own lifetime, so I can't really like. What can I say? Anyway, let's continue. So again, I ask if it's just a big dog, and no, it's a wolfman. So I ask if there are wolves in Iraq, and they are all in agreement that yes, there are wolves in Iraq. But at this point, I'm very intrigued and still a bit confused over the whole dog, wolf, wolfman thing. So I ask them to describe what they are seeing. They tell me that every few nights it comes around. They first see it on four legs, as it skulks around their small compound. But then it stands up like a man, walking on two legs. Again, at this point, I would just say, okay, I think this thing sounds like a werewolf, but I wouldn't definitively declare that it is so said going to be a werewolf. I would just say it sounds a little bit like one, but I mean, I don't know. This is a story, by the way, just in case anyone didn't know, myself included. Remind myself. Anyway, it growls. Most animals can. Okay. Anyway, and it is lunged at the men, but as they retreat, it turns its attention to the sheep. Their own dogs refusing to help protect human or sheep. Which, I mean, that is a little odd, but not exactly outside of the realm of possibility for canine behavior, right? I mean, people hear all the time about dogs being fiercely loyal and, going and throwing themselves in front of the bear so the child doesn't get eaten or something like that, right? Well, I'm going to I'm going to shatter people's illusions immediately. Animal's going to animal, even if it is an animal that is very much liking you as another animal. Essentially, right? Okay, I've seen dogs be absolute heroes and the bravest, most pure creatures on the planet, and then I've seen them, tearing apart a child in the middle of Africa, right? While myself and my team are traveling down a freaking road. I mean, yeah, dogs are still animals, just so people know. Just so people know. But, yeah, like, people know this. They'll be like, hey, like, what the heck, dude? You're my dog. Aren't you supposed to protect me from stuff? And they're just laying there while somebody comes into your house and is trying to do something, right? For some reason, your dog's just laying there. They don't care. Like, people know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Let's continue. Anyway, they tell me the creature has killed a few of their sheep and that they have even found one of the bodies, ripped apart with portions of it eaten away. They have been hesitant to shoot for fear of troop involvement, which actually, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a shit ton of sense, right? Because like the average like ANA AUP like guys, more often than not, would even if someone is like shooting a range. Right? These people were so... like, people think they know what trigger happy is when they're talking about cops in the U.S. People, they have got nothing on the ANA and the AAP and the, like, IUP and whatever, like, that we had in Iraq. But people got nothing on them. Anyway, enough about triggering stuff. Anyway, so... let me see. The translator says that he has heard of such a creature, and even though this type of story has been spread throughout the area by various people, it is no more than superstitions and delusions. Which, I mean, most people with any kind of sense would immediately go to that first, which makes sense. He assures me that there is no such thing as a wolfman, which is debatable at the very smallest, leastest. Debatable. I tell the two men that they should feel free to protect themselves and their livestock. And with my interest piqued, I get the men to agree to allowing us to stop from time to time and set up an observation post while we were out on patrol. Bad idea, dude. More often than not, you don't want to let the local nationals know exactly what it is you're doing, because I guarantee you 1,000% of the time, at least one local national is going to be is going to be like a Haqqani network or Al Qaeda or a Taliban. Sometimes all four would be there, because then ISIS started showing up sometime later, like after I want to say like 2011, 2012 when yeah, it was when we started seeing like some ISIS in Afghanistan. Yeah. But yeah, like basically the main thing being is that this is a big no-no. Okay, don't tell the local national people what you're going to be doing, because guarantee one of them is going to be a bad guy. That's a guarantee. That's why you keep things close to the chest. You operate silently and professionally and get stuff done. Right? Hey, schmoozle. I've been doing a lot of asides on this one. Okay. So, yeah. So he lets them know, hey, it would be okay if we set up an OP next to where you are going to be, so that somebody knows that we're going to be there. Anyway. Couple nights later, but yeah. Anyway, couple nights later, I join a night patrol and we head towards the house. We are greeted by one of the men, and he gives us entry to the compound. We go up to the roof and set out sentries to overlook a nearby bridge. About an hour later, the homeowner comes up with a panicked look on his face. He's talking really fast, excitement and concern in his voice and body language. He's wanting me to come with him. I tell two others come with me as well, and we all follow the man. He leads us to the other side of the house, and we exit onto an enclosed courtyard where the sheep are being kept. The sheep are making plenty of noise, and the man is pointing to a dark corner of the yard. I strain my eyes to see what he's pointing at. Finally, I see it. A large wolf dog just standing in the corner. I ask the other two guys with me if they see it too, and they both agree that it's a wolf or a dog. Definitely one or the other, or both, or who knows what else. It moved behind a small section on top of the wall, and I could hear popping and cracking noises, like joints or knuckles being cracked. When it stepped out from behind the wall, it was upright on two legs. It swiftly and effortlessly jumped the perimeter wall, and we could hear it running away on 2 feet. I conveyed to the man as best I could, if that thing ever showed up again, feel free to shoot it if he could, and if he did, to please let me know. So, honestly, what did y'all think? Personally, I'm a little, there's a lot to really jump into. Trying so hard not to judge these things, because we are conditioned by social media itself to just question literally everything, which, partly that's a good thing. On the other hand, it's like, well, now every single possible story has to be judged and looked at and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, let's just take this for face value, okay? So in this one, it's very intriguing, I would say, right? But it reads like someone trying to make a novella, honestly. Like some kind of novel based on, experiences from out in the desert. Which I'm not saying that this isn't like a real thing that happened. This could easily, possibly have happened, and to eliminate completely every single possibility is, well, foolish. And we know this because of science. Anyway, but on the first part, it's like, okay, quite honestly, if it was myself and parts of my team, my unit with me, and we saw that thing, we were lighting it up. We didn't care what else was going on. We were lighting that thing up. It's not supposed to be there. They said that it's been killing their sheep and stuff. We're doing him a favor. There's 3 of us, right? And I'm either carrying my Mark 48 or my Stop Mod 2, or maybe I'll carry my C8. Well, maybe. I don't know. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter what I'm carrying, but I'm carrying something freaking that's going to do some damage, right? Okay. And my guys are going to be carrying stuff that's equally as lethal and deadly, right? Force multipliers are a wonderful thing. Just saying. I'm a huge fan. By the way, so there'd be 3 of us that would get into, this area and then see this thing. Before it could pop on the wall, as soon as it moved, all 3 of us were lighting it up, and that thing would be dead, most likely. Okay? Like, I'm putting a whole magazine and every other magazine I have into that thing, right? If I'm seeing something like that, and it's inside this place, and this person deals with it all the time, I'm like, nah, no. Force multiplier time all the way through until the barrel's melting. And then melt the barrel on the thing's neck just to make sure it's dead. Anyway, what did y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if I should do more stories like this one. That being said, I hope you all enjoyed this. I kind of did, right? It gives me, it's for okay, you know what? I really try to stick to the point of this, for all we know, could have happened. And I'm trying to stick with that. Trying so hard not to be an absolute tool and just be like, well, dude, like, totally it's not real. But you know what I mean, right? Okay, so what did y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. All right, you know what time it is. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, it's only 99 cents. There's a join button that's down below the video somewhere, or there's going to be a link that shows up somewhere, or you could just go to the channel and there's a join button there. You can do it there. Anyway, all the links are in the description box down below, so if y'all are interested in that, please do so. And on top of that, I will see y'all the next time I do anything like this. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be good, be safe, make a good life for yourselves. I'll see y'all in the next one. Let's get better out.